Hello friends, today we will move into our domain 5 and we have completed already domain 7. Now we are moving into domain 5. Domain 5 is environmental management and this environmental management consists of 6%. Okay. So this is having very small percentage, but number of topics that you have to cover is more. Okay, let us see just the syllabus. Describe environmental protection and pollution prevention programs. Spill prevention we are covering. SPCC we are covering. Abatement best practices we are covering. Identify procedure used to manage hazardous materials. GHS classification, storage, handling policy, security, hazardous waste, all those things we are covering. GSS systems, disposal, identify procedures used to manage universal recycling, spill cleanup, labeling and remediation questions are coming. Determine sustainable principle and practices. Supply chain, reduce, reuse, recycle. Questions are coming. Describe the impact of environmental issues. So syllabus are very easy. Syllabus they are mentioning, and percentage is also 6%. But when you cover this syllabus, that they have mentioned, see, this is not an easy topic. It has a lot of things that has to be covered. We have formulated 100 pages of this PDF document. We will be covering complete of this syllabus and complete of this questions and complete syllabus we will be covering with the previous year's question papers. That is the beauty of this PDF. Okay, with integrated with the previous year's question papers. Okay, so this the format I will show you. So if this is our question, this is how we are integrating with the past questions. So if we are mentioning about RCRA Act. RCRA Act, if you are mentioning, we will be describing the concept of RCRA. Okay, then what is the questions asked from the previous question paper? Okay, so that is how. So when you are learning like this, what is the beauty of this is that you will understand what topics you have to give importance, because previous year's question papers, if you are learning based on that, you will understand which topic आपको ज़्यादा importance देना है, because already बहुत सारा topics आपको पढ़ना है. You have to understand, you have to read lot of topics etc. as per the syllabus. So when you are framing your syllabus and your notes as per the previous year's question paper, it will be easy for you. Okay, so this is how we are actually moving forward, just like we did our domain 7. I hope everyone has done the domain 7. Domain 7 has 8 videos in that. Okay, you can just go to our channel, you will be getting all those 8 videos. 6 videos I have kept it only for members, not for everyone, only for members, serious learners I have kept. So if you want, you can just message me, I will tell you how you have to take that. And now we can move on to domain 5. Domain 5 is environment and environmental management system. So in this, we will be learning about a lot of environmental laws, okay, and also environmental agencies, okay, and various laws that has been enacted and that has been there in the US. That is very important. And then that is very, laws is very important, and most of the time questions are coming from laws, okay. Then and also tricky questions are coming. Tricky questions, application-based level questions, understanding questions are coming. That is what you must understand. And then classification of waste, hazards, then water treatment, air, soil, all those elements we will be checking. Okay, air, soil, air, then water, then various treatment technologies, used. That is, and then coming to sustainability and all those things. That is how this module is moving forward, as we saw in the this one syllabus. Okay, the same syllabus we are completing, 100% syllabus we are completing in this course along with the previous year's question papers. Okay, so now let us move into Environmental Protection Agency, EPA. Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, is a primary federal agency responsible for protecting human health and environment. So EPA is the agency, very important. EPA is very important. It is responsible for protecting human health and environment. It is coming under federal agency. Okay, established in 1970 and all, don't remember, and focuses on environmental issues involving air, water, land, and hazardous waste. Air, water, land, and hazardous waste. All the environmental problems, who is responsible? EPA is responsible. That is very important question that we will see how they are asking questions. Okay, EPA develops regulations, enforces environmental laws, and conducts inspections, issues penalties, and oversees environmental cleanup activity. Also, they enact laws, and also they or conducts inspection, environmental, enforces laws, various laws they are enforcing. Okay, conducts inspection, issues penalties. Penalty also giving. We will see which agency is giving penalty. Oversees environmental cleanup activities. Cleanup activities also they are doing. So this will come as an objective type questions. What are the functions of EPA? So they are not just making laws. Sirf law bana raha nahi hai. inspections करता है factory में जाके, issues penalty. If something is wrong, some there are sites they are dumping and all, they will issue penalty. Overseas environmental cleanup activities also they are doing. So this cleanup activity, you will think that, oh, in our nation they are not doing, our environmental agency is not doing cleanup activities. So this is not the answer. But this is very important. Okay. This is the understanding level things you have to understand. Now, questions coming, EPA versus OSHA. They will be giving you certain responsibilities and they will be checking your understanding. ये काम OSHA का है क्या, ये काम EPA का है. This job is for EPA or this job is for OSHA. That they will be checking. See, EPA though job is that protects the environment. Okay. Environmental protection is coming under EPA, Environmental Protection Agency. OSHA is protecting workers. Very simple. This is very simple. Then you will be thinking, what is this? This is very simple. Now, but the question is, some kind of environmental leak, some kind of chemical leak happens in the workplace, then who is responsible? So this is a tricky question. That is how they will be asking the question. Okay. We will check. So focuses on air, water, and land contamination, focuses on workplace safety and health, environmental release and pollution, environmental exposure and workplace hazard, outside the workplace boundary, inside the workplace boundary. Okay. So OSHA is inside the factory, inside the workplace. They will be checking only the workers, they will be checking. Okay. Workplace health and safety, they will be checking. Then employees exposure, they will be checking. But here, Environmental Protection Agency is for the environment, air, water, and contamination, not the workers. Workers इधर नहीं आ रहा है, OSHA में workers आता है. Outside the workplace boundary. This is inside the workplace boundary. So this definition, distinction, it is very simple. But application में आएगा. Application में, if a chemical release affects the employee inside the factory, the primary concern is OSHA. Okay. देखो chemical release is what? Chemical is releasing. EPA के अंडर आएगा. Chemical, toxic waste, etc. releasing into the atmosphere will come in the mandate of EPA. But release affects employee inside the factory. But this is inside the factory if it is happening. The primary concern is usually OSHA. So inside the factory, agar kuch aayega, that is OSHA is responsible. Okay. That is the important thing that you need to understand. If the release contaminates soil, groundwater, river, air, and surrounding communities, primary concern is EPA. So if this same toxic chemical, if you think that is releasing into the atmosphere and the affected party is workers, then OSHA will be coming to play. But if the affected party is surrounding communities, see, this is the factory and factory के बाहर जो community रहता है, जो घर रहता है, जो society रहता है, अगर in that society if there is a leak, then it is primary concern is EPA. If inside the factory, the primary concern is who? OSHA. Outside the factory, it is Environmental Protection Agency. So if ultimately, ये याद रखो, this one you just remember. Worker exposure, if it is happening, worker को अगर कुछ हो रहा है, then OSHA will come. Okay, सबका बाप OSHA आएगा, worker का बाप OSHA आएगा. That way you understand. Environmental contamination, environmental having some problem, then EPA will be coming. This is the easiest way that you will understand. इससे easy, you will not get anywhere. Okay. Now, environmental protection framework. So these are the very, very important law that you need to understand. So we will see what are all the laws. First law is various laws are there. Huh? These laws are very, very important and definitely question will come from this law. Clean Air Act is there. Clean Water Act is there. Resource Conservation and Recovery Act, RCRA is there. Comprehensive Environmental Response Compensation and Liability Act, CERCLA Act is there. Toxic Substance Control Act, TSCA is there. Okay. Don't worry. First time if you are hearing, you will be thinking, oh, so many laws and all. These are the maximum 5 laws you have to learn. Okay, 5 act you have to learn and you have to by heart the concept. I will tell you what you have to by heart and how they are asked the questions. Okay. So Clean Air Act. See, EPA, you understood EPA is all about environment. So environment means what? Air would be there, water will be there. So that is Clean Air Act, Clean Water Act. Okay. Then Resource Conservation and Recovery Act. So there will be hazards or waste that will be produced in a company. So how you have to manage that waste? RCRA. So if you want to do the cleanup of the activity, then CERCLA will come. Then toxic substances that TSCA will come. Okay. So these are the 5 laws. We will check these laws in detail because question pakka aega. So Clean Air Act, CAA, air pollution control में आएगा. Clean Water Act मतलब water pollution. Resource Conservation and Recovery Act, it is RCRA. Okay, Active Hazardous Waste Management. Active Hazardous Waste Management मतलब क्या है? They see the keywords, they go Active Hazardous Waste Management मतलब see, active hazardous waste management is RCRA. That is very important. So, what is this active hazardous waste management? Active means the waste that is present now. That is active. The waste is active now. Comprehensive Environmental Response Compensation and Liability Act. Cleanup of contaminated site. Confusion again will come in RCRA and CERCLA. See, RCRA means Resource Conservation and Recovery Act. Active waste. Okay. CERCLA means what? Cleanup of contaminated site. For cleaning activities and all, CERCLA will come. Okay. See, for example, if a question is coming, you are going to inspect a site of 1960s. It has been dumped there. It has been dumped there for past 20 years. Now, what you have to do? You have to do the cleanup. Which law will come? CERCLA will come because it is past one. But active, a company is generating a waste and that is being transported from this place to this place. And while they were transporting, there has been some spill while they were transporting from the lorry. So that is an active. Now it is being there. So RCRA, this is how you should think as an environmentalist. Okay, not as a normal safety professional जैसा think करने से फायदा नहीं है. Environmentalist जैसा आपको think करना है और आपको ये questions deal करना है. That is Clean Air Act is there, Clean Water Act is there, RCRA is there, CERCLA is there. RCRA, CERCLA आपको base elementary level में you have understood. RCRA means it is active waste and CERCLA means it is build up contaminated waste. Okay, past waste. And then Toxic Substance Control Act. So Toxic Substance Controls Act, TSCA means Regulation of Chemical Substance. Regulation of chemical substance means what? See, if you want to introduce a new chemicals or there are so many very dangerous chemicals and all will come in TSCA. Okay. So this is Environmental Protection Agency, EPA ka five most important act is there. Now we will be moving into one by one एक act देखेंगे. If you are talking about air, then various air का क्या है toxic gases and all, then how you have to filter it, how are the various technologies used for that, and the act we will be seeing in detail. So this is the core of your module 5. Okay. Now Toxic Substance Control Act, TSCA. See, Toxic Substance Control Act regulates chemicals before they become waste. So this is toxic substance. RCRA क्या है? RCRA, what is RCRA? That is waste, which is active waste management. CERCLA, contaminated site. But TSCA मतलब क्या है? Very, very important keywords. TSCA regulates chemicals before they become waste. That means this is not waste. TSCA is chemicals. See, you are working in a company, in an industry. There are so many chemicals already there in your company. You have to use that chemicals. So while you are using that chemicals, you have this MSDS, material safety data sheets, and all those data sheets that you are referring. So those regulations and all TSCA बनाता है. So before they become waste, you are using that as a chemical. वो chemical कैसे आपको use करना है? First aid measures क्या है? So वो सब regulations TSCA US में बनाता है. Regulates chemicals before they become waste. It gives EPA authority to evaluate, regulate, and restrict chemical substance. TSCA applies to chemical manufacturing, importing, processing and use. देखो chemicals का पूरा from its lifeline, manufacturing, importing, processing and use, TSCA will be controlling. PCBs are heavily regulated under TSCA. So TSCA में there are chemicals that are regulated chemicals. Oh, chemicals they will be asking PCBs, polychlorinated by phenyls. PCBs are very important. They are heavily regulated in TSCA. Okay. So when the question asked in examination, new chemicals, agar naya chemicals if you want to introduce, if you want to manufacture the chemicals, if you want to you have an chemical inventories, नहीं तो PCBs अगर आपके पास है, so what you have to check? You have to come into your mind that is what TSCA law है, TSCA. Okay. Toxic Substance Chemicals Act. Okay, that is TSCA Control Act. Okay, Baki RCRA, it is for active waste. That is waste, not chemicals. Okay, and CERCLA is also for the waste that has been dumped years before. TSCA is for the chemicals that you are using presently. It is not waste. That is the most important point. Now, Resource Conservation and Recovery Act, RCRA, that is very important. See, RCRA regulates hazardous waste during active management. इधर दो point important है, ये है, this is waste, okay? This is waste and that is during active management. मतलब they are active in their active life. It controls waste from generation to transportation, treatment, storage and disposal. From generation, see, from the point of generation to transportation, treatment, storage, सारा जगह पे, right from its generation through transportation, storage, this is very important. Question पूछा है. System is known as cradle to grave management. So what do you mean by cradle to grave? Cradle मतलब जो बच्चा when he is just taking birth, he will be going into cradle. Okay, cradle. And grave means end of his life. So cradle to grave management, that is RCRA. Right from his birth till his grave, the chemical, the waste will be managed. It is active management. Okay, right from his grave, that is generation, transportation, treatment, storage, and disposal. Then hazardous waste responsibility under RCRA. The generator, very, very important, under RCRA, the generator retains ultimate responsibility for hazardous waste. Okay, RCRA में किसको ultimate responsibility for hazardous waste है? They are asking every time under RCRA, the generator retains ultimate responsibility for hazardous waste. The generator retains the ultimate responsibility for hazardous waste. This is very important. The generator, the person who is manufacturing, who is generating the waste, he is responsible. Okay, that is RCRA में किसको responsibility है? It controls waste from generation through transportation, treatment, storage and disposal. So generator is ultimate responsible for hazardous waste. Responsibility does not end when the waste leaves the facility. Waste अगर मेरे factory से निकल गया, if the waste has been emptied from my factory, it doesn't mean that I am not responsible. Okay, waste generators remain responsible for proper management and disposal. If you are making waste, if your factory is making waste and आपने कहाँ पर भी जाके dump किया, that does not mean that you are not responsible for it. Okay, waste generators remain responsible for proper management and disposal. If you are generating the waste, you are responsible for it. You're responsible for proper management of the waste, proper disposal of the waste. Okay, who is ultimately responsible? Past question on this I have been asked. Who is ultimately responsible for hazardous waste from start to finish? Correct answer: generators of hazardous waste. This was an option, large and small quantity generators. So generator, जो waste generate करता है, the person who is generating the waste is ultimately responsible. Okay, for its for its proper management and disposal. Generators, not transporters or disposal facilities. Which party has ultimate liability responsibility for hazardous waste management? The generators. See, for example, in your company, they are generating the waste and they are telling and they are giving the quotation to an waste management company to transport this waste to another place and dump it to another place. Okay, they are giving quotation. So company ने इतना पैसा दिया and they have given to this truck and truck is loading and they are dumping it. Environmental Protection Agency under RCRA came and they went to this dump site. They saw various waste here. Normally अपना इंडिया में होगा तो नहीं तो कोई भी कंट्री में होगा तो not telling about India, any country, their law, they will be prosecuting the person who has dumped here. But according to RCRA, what they are doing, they will be going to the generators who generated this waste. This company has generated the waste. Even though they have been transported by another person, that doesn't mean that the transporter is ultimate responsible. Transporter be responsible, but ultimate responsibility, keyword is ultimate responsibility lies with the generators. Very, very important. Okay, fine. Always questions are asking from that. Then manifest system. See, manifest system, RCRA tracks hazardous waste using uniform hazardous waste manifest. In this RCRA, the important concept is manifest system. Asking in the questions, repeatedly asking. See the past questions. That is why I have integrated the past questions with the answer sheet. So that जब भी आप read करेंगे, you will understand that yes, this question is very important. Okay. So RCRA tracks hazardous waste. This topic is very important so that you will be giving more focus into this और आपको keywords याद करने में, for understanding the keywords, it will be useful. So manifest system, RCRA tracks hazardous waste using uniform hazardous waste manifest. So RCRA में under वाले the coming concept is manifest system tracks hazardous waste using the Uniform Hazardous Waste Manifest. The manifest serves both as a shipping document and a tracking document. Okay, this is very important. So manifest system under RCA is what? It is a shipping document. When you are shipping a hazardous waste from A to B, as I told, एक factory ने dump करने के लिए दिया into this grave site. So when you are transporting it, you will be using manifest system. This manifest system में क्या है? It is a shipping document and also a tracking document. Shipping document, so all the information will be there. Who is shipping, what kind of waste they are shipping, and tracking document, where it is going, where you are dumping, everything is recorded. That is manifest. So you must understand this key point. Manifest serves as both as a shipping document and a tracking document. Hazardous waste tracks as hazardous waste tracking from cradle to grave is accomplished through the manifest system. So cradle to grave मतलब कहाँ से जन्म लिया, where you have been taken birth and where you are going, your graveyard, everything, not your graveyard, any person's graveyard, okay, that waste graveyard, where it is going. So that is being tracked, monitored by using this manifest system. Manifest system में clear रहेगा ये waste किधर जाएगा, कहाँ पर dump होगा, कौन generate किया, everything will be there. Hazardous waste tracking from cradle to grave is accomplished through the manifest system. Manifest is mandatory for hazardous waste shipments. It is mandatory document है. ये पढ़ो, very important. The key element of RCRA designed to track hazardous waste from cradle to grave is the manifest system. Okay, fine. Now moving on to the, two more questions are there. The mandatory shipping document for hazardous waste purpose is Uniform Hazardous Waste Manifest. Okay, so that is mandatory document. The manifest serves, see actually this is a question and options भी है, मैंने options नहीं दिया because this will make your notes very big. That is why I have not given the options. A manifest serves the following purpose. Correct answer, both shipping and tracking document. Okay. Options दिया नहीं, directly मैंने दिया. Now hazardous waste determination. Hazardous waste classification must occur when hazard is generated. Okay. See, hazardous waste determination, when you have to determine whether it is an hazardous waste or not. So hazardous waste classification must occur when the waste is generated. At the point of generation, very important point they are asking. That is why we have given this. Okay, this determination affects storage, labeling, transportation, and disposal requirement. Hazardous waste determination must be performed at the point of generation. Very important. That is why I have highlighted here. Whenever you are reading this PDF document, this yellow point will come into your mind, strike into your mind, so that you will be writing your examination. So hazardous waste, किसका responsibility है? Active hazardous waste, RCRA's responsibility. RCRA में क्या है? Manifest system. What is this manifest system? Tracking and shipping document. So this is very important. When you are determining who is responsible, the generators are responsible, not the transporters, not the person who is handling. The generators are responsible for the waste management. Hazardous waste determination कहाँ पर करेगा? At the point of generation. So at the point of generation, the hazardous waste determination must be performed at the point of generation. Okay. Very important. Because see, for example, the company is generating the hazardous waste and they are giving this hazardous waste for the another person, for the truck person to dump it. So yeah, hazardous waste है क्या नहीं, not this person will decide, but this person who is generating the waste will decide that this is an hazardous waste. It should occur at the point of generation. That is why this is the important question. They have asked it, and that is why we have integrated into our PDF notes. Hazardous waste determination are to be performed at what point of time? At the point of generation. ऐसा पढ़ेंगे, definitely pass in the first attempt. Okay, no doubt about it. Now, RCRA, active waste management. RCRA, we already told. This is the key point. RCRA मतलब क्या है? RCRA मतलब it is active waste management है. Active waste management मतलब क्या है? It is active. Now it is presently there. Now it is being transported. Now who is responsible for that waste? The generators are responsible. कहाँ पर waste है वो determine करना है at the point of generation. It is cradle to grave concept. Okay. So RCRA is very easy for you. This is a very tough concept, but very easy for you, right? Comment me if these notes are helpful. Please comment. Okay, please comment so that I can get a feedback from you if it is helpful or not. Total 100 pages are there. We have covered the 4th page. Now we will be moving forward into the next topic, which is CERCLA. See, CERCLA is also known as Superfund. I have given in the bracket intentionally because sometimes they are also asking Superfund in the examination, Superfund law. So that is why मैं CERCLA करके दिया है आपको. Okay, fine. So CERCLA addresses contamination that already exists. Okay, CERCLA addresses contamination that already exists. This is very important. Your RCRA is what? RCRA is not already exist, but active waste को ही RCRA handle करेंगे. Active waste, the waste that is already there now. But CERCLA addresses contamination that already exists before, like 5 years, 10 years, or in the past year that has been already exist. Dump किया है. Dump किया हुआ waste is CERCLA. It focuses on abandoned sites, not the present मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कंपनी जो अभी काम कर रहा है एक्टिव वाला कंपनी में नहीं फोकस करता है abandoned sites, historical releases and contaminated properties. See, there are some kind of property जो काम नहीं कर रहे हैं. Okay, there are property which is not working. That property सरकार will be focusing. That property which they are not working, which is not working. So CERCLA is commonly known as Superfund law. This is also known as Superfund law. They are known as Superfund law. I will tell you why this is known as Superfund and all. Okay, because they are giving fund to clean up. Okay, so what is the distinction? What is the difference between RCRA and CERCLA? RCRA is active management, active waste management. This is a build up contaminated site. Okay, cleanup of contamination site which has been there in the past. ये भी active नहीं है, abandoned site है. Okay, production में नहीं है. Current operation, historical contamination before it was there. Cradle to grave concept, it is Superfund. Waste being managed, waste already released. So site cleanup के लिए CERCLA applies when contamination has already occurred and cleanup is required. Common examples include abandoned facilities, leaking disposal sites, and buried hazardous waste. Okay, buried किया हुआ hazardous waste, abandoned facilities. Okay, these are all coming under CERCLA. CERCLA, CERCA. Superfund primarily addresses toxic waste site. Superfund law primarily addresses toxic waste site. Then liability criteria, very very important. हमेशा question आता है, what is liability under CERCLA? See, CERCLA, when there is an abandoned site, okay, CERCLA में देखो, I will tell you the common thing of this one. RCRA means you have who is actually creating trouble, who is disposing, what quantity disposing, कहाँ पर transport कर रहा है, you know that because that is an active site, active company है. But CERCLA means what? It is an abandoned site. Company operation करके गया, lot of years has been passed. Now there have been, their site is abandoned. You don't know who will be responsible. So in that, but you have to clean that site. So there will be some kind of responsibility. Who the RCRA, the responsibility is point of generators. Generators are responsible. But here who is responsible? तो इसके लिए हम लोग एक liability concept, सरकार has introduced a liability concept which is strict liability, joint and severe liability. Very very important. Strict liability भी पूछता है, joint and severe liability भी पूछता है. Very very important. Now what is strict liability? See, strict liability means responsible parties may be liable even if they did not intend harm. EPA does not need to prove negligence or fault. It is very strict. Strict liability applies regardless of fault, intent, or negligence. Okay. Strict liability, the word itself shows it is very strict. Strict means what? Responsible parties may be liable even if they did not intend harm. Even if they did not intend harm, अगर वो जानबूझ के नहीं भी किया है तो they will be liable. They don't, EPA does not need to prove negligence or fault. Does not need to prove also. If they are saying this person has done, then you have done and you are responsible to claim that. That is strict liability. Applies regardless of fault, intent, and negligence. Okay, if they have not intended harm, if they had not created any kind of fault, intent, or negligence, if EPA is saying, CERCLA is saying, yes, you have done that, you have to clean it. That is strict liability. Now, the past question is also there, very important. The practical implementation of strict liability in environmental contamination cases are best described as all of the above. Okay, responsible. So these are the 3 points you have to remember. Just remember the concept, that's enough. Joint and severe liability, any one person responsible party can be held responsible for the entire cleanup cost. Entire cleanup cost, one person, if there are 4 people who have made that site bad or who have dumped that waste, but one person, CERCLA can tell this person has to clean. Okay. The party may later seek reimbursement from others. Each responsible party can be individually liable for the entire cleanup cost. That is joint liability. Joint liability and several liability. That one is strict liability. Strict liability means does not have to show any kind of this one negligence and all. If they are saying they have to do, here jointly they can do, or one party will be responsible for the entire cleanup cost. So if they're asking abandoned site, Superfund, these are the keywords. Okay. Legacy waste and all, CERCLA आपको देना है. Okay. Then a company discovers leaking solvent drum buried since 1960s. Then you should understand it is CERCLA without any problem. Now Clean Air Act, thoda bada hai. We will see in the next video. Please subscribe to this channel. And also we have, as I have told you, I have uploaded domain 7 also. Please look into that. Step by step, we will cover entire ASP CSP syllabus. Some of the videos are only reserved for the members. So if you want to join that, please click on that membership button. You can easily discover those videos. Very, very helpful videos. And if you have any doubts regarding that, how you have to join as a member and all, you can message me in our WhatsApp number. Thank you.